Conflict is one of those things that we all encounter in our lives, whether we like it or not. It can happen at work, at home, or even with friends. And let's be real, nobody enjoys the tension that comes with it. So today, I want to share some thoughts on how to avoid conflict before it even starts. Because, honestly, a little prevention goes a long way. First off, let's talk about communication. It's the foundation of any relationship, right? If we're not communicating effectively, misunderstandings can snowball into full-blown arguments. So, how do we improve our communication to dodge those conflicts? One word: clarity. When you express your thoughts or feelings, be as clear and specific as possible. Instead of saying, "I'm upset," try saying, "I felt overlooked when my ideas weren't acknowledged in the meeting." This way, the other person understands exactly what's bothering you, and it opens the door to a constructive conversation rather than a defensive reaction. Another key element is active listening. It's so easy to get caught up in our own perspectives that we forget to truly hear what the other person is saying. So, practice listening without planning your response while they're talking. Nod, make eye contact, and even paraphrase what they've said to show you're engaged. This not only validates their feelings, but also reduces the chances of miscommunication. When people feel heard, they're less likely to feel defensive, and that can keep the peace. Now, let's touch on empathy. Putting yourself in someone else's shoes can be a game changer. When you approach a situation with empathy, you're more likely to understand their point of view, even if you don't agree with it. Try to ask yourself, why might they feel this way? This shift in perspective can help you respond with kindness rather than frustration. And trust me, kindness can diffuse a lot of potential conflict before it even arises. Next, let's consider our tone and body language. You might be saying something perfectly reasonable, but if your tone is harsh or your body language is closed off, it can come across as confrontational. So, be mindful of how you present yourself. A warm tone and open posture can signal that you're approachable and willing to collaborate rather than confront. It's all about creating a safe space for dialogue. And here's a big one: pick your battles. Not every disagreement needs to escalate into a conflict. Sometimes, it's better to let the small stuff slide. Ask yourself, is this really worth it? If the answer is no, then let it go. Save your energy for the issues that truly matter. This doesn't mean you're ignoring your feelings. It just means you're prioritizing peace over pride. Now, let's talk about setting boundaries. It's essential to know your limits and communicate them clearly. If someone is consistently crossing those boundaries, it's important to address it before it turns into resentment. You can say something like, "I appreciate your input, but I need some space to process my thoughts." This approach is respectful and helps prevent future conflicts by establishing clear expectations. Lastly, don't underestimate the power of humor. Sometimes a lighthearted joke can break the tension and remind everyone that we're all human, navigating this crazy thing called life together. Just be cautious with this one. Humor can be subjective, so make sure it's appropriate for the situation. In conclusion, avoiding conflict isn't about ignoring issues or pretending everything is fine. It's about creating an environment of understanding, respect, and open communication. By being clear, empathetic, and mindful of our interactions, we can navigate our relationships with grace and ease. Remember, it's not about being conflict-free. It's about handling conflicts in a way that strengthens our connections, rather than tearing them apart. So, let's embrace these strategies and make our interactions a little smoother, one conversation at a time.